Hello guys, welcome back to the channel, and we have another nice simple cook today. We're taking the good old hot dog and bumping it up a notch. So we're going to do bacon and cheese hot dogs. Now bacon and cheese is quite a classic combination on a burger. Everybody loves it, it's one of my favourites. So why not transfer that over to a hot dog? But we're going to do it a little bit differently. We're going to use bacon lardons. It's just strictly bacon we've cut down into lardons. And instead of just adding cheese in there, we're going to make a cheese sauce. And we're going to spice everything up at the end with a little bit of hot sauce. We'll talk about that later. So the first thing we need to do really is get the hot dogs on the smoke. So we're not grilling these directly as you may have traditionally done before. We're going to do them indirect. We're going to put a little bit of wood in there to get them smoked. These are the bigger hot dogs from the meat merchant in Moira. So they're a little bit bigger than the standard sausage, but when it comes to hot dog, I think the sausage needs to be much bigger than the bun. Nothing worse than biting into a hot dog and just getting nothing but bread. So the Kamado Joe is set up for indirect. All the coals are banked to one side, and I've one deflector plate in there just to make sure we're not getting any direct heat from the bottom. Temperature, we're sitting around 170, 180, not screaming hot, not too cold. We're not like low and slow smoking these. But you just want them, it'll crisp up the skins nice, that little bit of heat, and get a bit of smoke in there. So we'll go ahead and get our dogs on the indirect side. Then we need to get our wood on. I have two chunks here, a chunk of pear and a small piece of apple. That's going to be enough to smoke these. They're not going to cook for that long, so that's more than enough to get a bit of flavour in there. Again, look for fruit woods if you want a nice mild smoky flavour. So we'll pop them into the coals. They should start smoking pretty much straight away. I'm going to put the second grate in. So we have an area of direct heat as well. We're going to be making up the sauce and the bacon on the barbecue too. So the bacon couldn't go on at this point. I have a cold cast iron pan. Normally you wouldn't cook cold in cast iron, but I'm going to add the bacon into it. And just set it on the top for a sort of mild heat. It can cook slowly and render out a lot of that fat. I've already started to get a little bit of a wisp of smoke there. So we'll close the lid down, let it go, and then we'll talk through how we're going to do this cheese sauce. I've been a real bad boy on the town all night. Starting to calm down with the morning light. Okay, so cheese sauce. It's pretty simple really. It's the same one really you would do it for a mac and cheese, or I've done this as a bit of a natural sauce before. So we need a pan and a whisk. Start off by making a basic roux. So we have about 15 grams of butter, a tablespoon of plain flour, and about 150 ml of milk. Those are the basic ingredients for a roux. Only other ingredients that go into it are cheese, and lots of it, and a bit of barbecue rub. You can leave this out if you want, but this sort of takes it to the next level. So as far as the cheese goes, I have about 150 grams of smoked cheddar and 150 grams of mature cheddar. You can go for whatever you want really. I just find that gives a nice strong flavour. The smoked cheddar is nice, a little bit of smokiness. I've already got smoke on the sausage, so I didn't want to go purely smoked cheese. But the mature cheddar gives that real sharpness to cut through too. So we're going to add the butter into the pan and set this on to the barbecue then to start melting that down and get the roux made up. Okay, so as you can see, smoke is rolling. We have made the roux. So you just add the butter, then the flour, and then slowly add the milk and whisk it all together until it forms a creamy sauce. I went in with about a tablespoon of barbecue rub in there as well. Just adds a little bit of extra flavour to it. I've used the Pitmaster rub from Smoky Carter. Last thing to go in with then is the cheese. So you can add it in a bit at a time, but Personally, I just dump it all in and get in there and give it a mix about. I've also flipped over the hot dogs as well. They've started to take on a nice smoke colour. I just turn them to make sure it gives an even colour. So we'll let our cheese melt down a little bit and then we'll start to mix that through the roux. The bacon is working away in the background, starting to crisp up, render out the fat. Just keep it moving in the cast iron, make sure it all crisps up evenly. Close the lid down for a minute or two. Keep the smoke rolling on those hot dogs. Alright, our cheese sauce is nice and creamy. It's time to lift it off. Hot dogs aren't too far away, and the bacon just needs a little minute or two to finish crisping up. But our sauce is looking good. Nice colour in the hot dogs too. Now keep turning them if you need to. We'll close that down, let them finish off. Okay, on their hot dog rolls. Not doing anything fancy with these, just going to toast them off. Same method I use for my burgers. A little bit of mayo on each of them. Just take a spoon, smooth that in. So, back over and just put them opened out above the coals. Keep an eye on them. We'll have a check on our dogs while we're here. Yeah, we're good to go. They're all sitting around to eat. As long as they're over 75, they're safe to eat. Go ahead and lift those off onto the board. I haven't quite thought of this. My bench is on a hill. If they start to move, let me know. So bacon's pretty much there too. Which means it's almost time to eat. Alright, buns are done. Bacon is looking crisp. Says about time we made one up. So we need to talk about one thing before we go ahead to make one. We are using a bit of hot sauce on top of these. These are the Dr.Trouble sauces. Jim from Only Slagging put me onto these. He had got some to try it out and had strongly advised me to get some, and he wasn't wrong. This is their Lemon Chilli one. They also do an oak smoked hot sauce, so but the Lemon Chilli I thought would go really well with this. Awesome flavour in these hot sauces. I'll leave a link below to them if you want to check them out, but thanks to Jim for putting me onto them because they are incredible. So I think it's only fair that we put one of these together, see what it tastes like. I'll bring you in a little bit closer and we'll make one up. Okay, down with a couple of our rolls. Star of the show goes in first. Okay, maybe not the star of the show, but a definite close second with the cheese sauce. As much or as much as you want. You always just put this in a bowl and just let people dip the whole hot dog into it. And sprinkle on some of our bacon. Then hot sauce. Dribble down over the top. You can swap that out for barbecue sauce or whatever you want. And lastly, a few chopped chives just to top it all off. And we are done. I've been looking forward to this since we started this cook. Let's give it a try. Imagine this is going to get messy. It's the simple things in life. Honestly, the pairing of smoke on the sausage, that cheese sauce, quite rich, the lemon in this sauce kind of holds off long enough. The heat doesn't kick in. You get the citrus flavours from the lemon first, which goes perfectly with the cheese sauce. Nice smokiness, and then the heat starts to build and build. It's not an incredibly hot sauce. It is a little bit of a lip tingler, but it's hot enough, but it still has flavour, but it just brings another level to it. Incredible. Bacon makes everything better. I'm going in again. And it's another little tip then, doing the sausages indirect. I haven't grilled a sausage in I don't know how long. I always do them indirect, or even if I'm smoking or not smoking, they sit off to the side. You still get great flavour in there from the charcoal, but the skins don't burst open, and they're not oozing out all the juices. You get a nice crisp skin in the sausage, and they still take on a lot of smoke, but it just stays intact, holds everything inside. It's the best way to cook a sausage. So if you want to give this one a try, the recipe will be in the description box below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next video. Oh, and link to the sauce in the description below as well.